I don't know about you guys, but ever since I had my baby, my cycle and hormones have been absolutely crazy. I am on a mission to fix my hormones after being infertile for 7 years, going through multiple IVF cycles in order to have my baby, who is now 14 months old. And I am having the most irregular cycles and crazy hormones. I've been trying everything I can to lose weight and there's no weight that is budging. So I knew that I was going to have to figure out something to do in order to fix my body. Mira actually reached out to me and asked me to test out their AI hormone monitor. This Mira Analyzer fits into the palm of your hand. So it comes in this little tiny case like this. I love it, it's so cute actually. And using AI technology, this tracks your body's key fertility hormones, so that way you can figure out what's going on with your cycle. And that's literally what I need. Like I said, I went through infertility for over 7 years. We did get tested and it is male factor infertility. I always had perfect cycles my entire life. And it was only after weaning from breastfeeding that I realized that my hormones are just crazy and chaotic and I need to figure out a way to fix them. So I am dealing with having very, very short cycles. A lot of my cycles have been 17 to 19 days. Occasionally they'll go in length to like 24 days, but I feel like I am just constantly bleeding and that I never know anything about my cycle anymore. This hormone analyzer can test 4 different hormones. So you have the luteinizing hormone, LH, you have estrogen, progesterone, and FSH, which is the follicle stimulating hormone. I only tested 3 so far because I used the wands that they sent me along with this analyzer. I've been enjoying using the monitor so much that I went ahead and bought another box of the wands. These are the ones that test 3. They do LH, progesterone, and estrogen. And then I went ahead and bought the FSH wands because I wanted to start just seeing all of my hormones and how they are interacting together with my body. I've not used these ones yet because they actually just came. In my previous cycle, I was using the regular ones that tested all 3 of your hormones. I've only used this for 1 cycle so far, but by using this, I actually found out that I was ovulating like 2 or 3 days after my period. So my cycles are incredibly short. My luteal phase isn't very long from what I have seen with starting this hormone testing. I'll show you a little bit how this works. So you can charge it and turn it on. And this actually Bluetooths to your phone. It comes with a free app. So you can actually see all about your cycle, all of your hormones and everything on your phone, which is really cool. It'll tell you it's ready to test. It'll show you the battery percentage. It'll show you that Bluetooth is on, and it tells you like the last time that you tested and what some of your levels were. They give you this little silicone cup that folds up that you're able to pee in, obviously. I'm not gonna show you that, but I will open one of these and dip in, and then I will go ahead and insert in here. It takes 21 minutes for this to analyze the hormones, and then it'll actually send it to your phone so you can see all the data. The unique wands use an immunofluorescent technology, just like if you were to go to a lab, and they promise 99% lab grade accuracy, and you don't have to be pricked, so you don't have to travel for miles. I have, you know, a 1-year-old, so it would be hard to find someone to watch her in order for me to go get my hormones tested. And I do just really like this because it's designed by scientists and fertility experts. It predicts and confirms when you're ovulating, which is really good for those of you with PCOS. And you can predict your 6-day fertile window for those of you that really are trying to get pregnant. So no matter where you are in your fertility journey, if you are trying to get pregnant, this would be a great tool. That way you don't have to go and pay hundreds and thousands of dollars in doing fertility testing if you want to just stay at home and figure it out yourself, especially if it is just because you have irregular cycles and there's not a deeper problem involved. For me, we have male factor infertility, so I'm actually using this just to see my hormone levels and see what's going on with my cycle, especially since I have been so out of touch, you know, with pregnancy and postpartum. You're not really like paying attention so much to your cycles. Because we have male factor infertility, I wouldn't necessarily use this for us to get pregnant, but I think that this would be a great tool for those of you that would be able to use this in order to pinpoint ovulation and try and get pregnant. It's nice that Mira has a free app. It pops up right here when you're testing, so that way you know how much time is left, and then it's gonna automatically update in here. So you can go back, you can see where your hormones were when you were previously testing for other cycles. You can even see them individually, and you can analyze them depending upon other users, whether it is pregnant, healthy, or they even have a PCOS comparison. You can also see your whole calendar and which days you should test. And they have lots of different blog articles in case you want more information. You can shop right on the app in case you need more tests or want to purchase something else. My levels just came in, and each time you do this, your cycle predictions just keep improving and getting better. So it'll show right here like what my 3 hormones are that I tested, and I will have to do the FSH test in order to get those levels. And it tells you like your little chart info here. You can also scroll through right here to see all of your information for today. And you can even turn it this way in order to see everything on one graph. Using Mira is just like the beginning of me figuring out my hormone testing. I do have some other things I want to talk about with what I'm going to be doing in order to heal my hormones. But if you're interested in getting a monitor and doing this at home instead of having to go see a doctor and figure out what your hormones are doing, getting blood taken, making the time, scheduling, all that stuff, you can actually use my code Wheeler in order to get 17% off the hormone monitor kit and the prenatal vitamins. I'll link that down below so that way you guys can go check it out. You can look at the pricing, you can see if this is something that would be right for you. Fully understand the frustration now that women have. They don't have regular cycles and they have no clue like when their next cycle is coming. So this has been really helpful in order for me to kind of pinpoint, even with my short cycles, like when is the next cycle going to start. My next tip is going to be for those of you that are trying to get pregnant, trying to heal your hormones, or have PCOS. I have the book Real Food for Fertility by Lily Nichols, and this is an amazing resource because it is a huge book. It just came out like last year, and it talks all about how to get pregnant, how to make your body much healthier. I was on the search for something like this for years. I read every single infertility book known to mankind, and nothing has come even close to the amount of information as this book. This book even has a whole section on PCOS because I started having some symptoms recently, especially with the irregular cycles, and I wanted to read her perspective on PCOS and what she thinks that you should do in order to help your cycles. She also even has a whole chapter on sperm analysis and male factor infertility. I have not tried any of these tips yet with Alvin just because we're not quite ready to do IVF yet. This book is just literally filled with information. In her PCOS chapter, she talks a lot about insulin resistance, and I do think that that is something that I'm struggling with, and that's why I'm not able to lose weight. She does recommend a keto and low carb diet, and I will talk more about that in a little bit. She also talks about how to minimize inflammation and how to do meal timing, which I know that a lot of people don't really want to do fasting anymore, especially because it can be detrimental to women's hormones, but something that I found very interesting in this book, and I do want to try out and test out and see how I do with it, is that she recommends doing fasting starting in the evening time. So having your last meal of the day at 4 p.m. and then fasting all throughout the night, but then making sure that you're eating breakfast within that like hour of waking up, and then eating throughout the day until 4 p.m. when you have your last meal again. With incorporating that fasting and having more of a lower carb approach, that would be much better with your blood sugar levels and your insulin. And she also has a whole list of supplements that you could be taking: vitamin D, magnesium, zinc. There's so many. There's a huge list on here, and you can figure out. She even has iodine, vinegar, cinnamon, spearmint tea, probiotics. There's even more than that. Then she also talks about lifestyle, sleep quality, toxin exposure, exercise. I have found this book a really great resource, and again, if you're trying to get pregnant, if you have PCOS, if you're trying to heal your hormones, I would definitely look into this book. With me reading that chapter and just seeing how great keto low carb can be. This channel actually was started when I was keto and low carb. I followed that lifestyle for multiple years. I had perfect cycles, great hormones. I was skinny, I had no problem losing weight, and so I actually am looking to go back and continue that lifestyle again. I just reread Keto for Women by Leanne Vogel, and this is a great resource. Definitely check it out and see if it's at your library. I love how she talks about hormones, how to heal them, and how great a keto and low carb diet can work for a woman's body as long as you are prioritizing whole foods, getting in adequate nutrition, having some carb ups, and not fasting too much. So I reread this recently, and this is definitely something that I'm gonna be doing in order to heal my hormones. So if you guys are interested in kind of like seeing my journey, I feel like I should definitely make like another video in a couple months after I start keto and seeing how Mira is working with all of the testing, and we can kind of see, are my hormone levels getting better? Are my cycles getting longer? Am I losing weight? You know, all of those things that come into play. So those are all of the things that I will be doing. I do have plans to start working out slowly. I know that strength training can be really good, but again, if your hormones are kind of wonky like mine, you have to be careful to not work out too much. So I do enjoy walking, and I was also thinking of getting a YMCA membership again because that comes with childcare that I can put my 1-year-old in. And so I thought something that would be great self-care was if I would put Alice in the childcare at the YMCA, I could either just walk or do something easy exercise. I could even take one of their classes. They have phenomenal classes where you can like dance together and do body pump together and stuff like that. But I could just watch a show and like really enjoy just having that like time that I'm committing it to my body, but also time like self-care where I'm watching a show. So those are all of the things that I am excited to be doing in order to try and heal my hormones. Another thing along with keto is that I feel like it's very important for me to get my thyroid levels tested. I don't really have a family doctor because a lot of my testing has been with my IVF clinic over the years. And since we're not quite ready to start IVF again, I'm not really gonna be going through the testing there for a year or so. But I am looking into going to just a regular lab to get my blood levels drawn in order to check my thyroid. My sister is actually a nutritional therapy practitioner, so she's gonna help me read through the results, but getting my thyroid tested will be something I'll be doing in the future, depending upon how I feel in the next couple months with using Mira and starting the keto lifestyle again. But again, all of that costs money. It can all add up. The more testing that you do, the more doctors you see. And so if it's something that I will be able to heal here at home and get my hormones on track, then that's what I would prefer to do. I would love to hear if some of you have gone through this same thing with having such great hormones and cycles before getting pregnant, and then after pregnancy being in postpartum, if everything just kind of fell apart. I'd love to know how you remedied the situation and if you have any tips for me to do. That way I can also get my hormones on track. Thanks again for watching this video, and I will see you all in another video soon. Bye everyone.